Welcome to the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Penn Medicine, Lancaster General Health Sports Medicine. My name is Mike Gross, and I'll be hosting this deal. And joining me in breaking down the end of the regular season, pretty much in most of our spring sports in the LL, are to my left, John Walk, to my right, Jeff Reinhardt. And we're going to start with John because he's got some track and field, a remote, and an update.
Yeah, so we went out to Lampeter Strasburg this past week to chat with the pole vaulter and Luke Wiley. Been trying to work on getting a tennis kid, but just so happened with the weather and districts how it is. But anyway, so track and field it is, and I wanted to do a pole vaulter because it's something different, something we haven't done just yet. And Luke Wiley is a guy you may not have heard of because he missed the first 4 meets of the season with a bum ankle. Has since returned, has cleared 12 feet. He needs to clear 13 feet to qualify for districts. We chatted with Luke about a lot of that stuff, and it just kind of adds into a really talented Pioneers boys team. They were the Section 2 runner-up. We know about the runner Colin Whitaker and Luca Veronic, and they have a really good jumper as well, whose name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, so we're going to go out to Lampeter Strasburg. Tyler was also out at their meet at Cocalico this previous Monday, just to kind of get some video of those guys in action. So with that said, let's go out to LS and chat with Luke Wiley. This boys team at LS, including yourself, seems to be, on track to do some special things here in the postseason. How special is this group, just collectively, on the track, on the field? How much fun has the season been?
They're crazy. I love just competing with everybody, like knowing that I was on the same team as these people, then they're doing all these great things. It kind of like motivates me. I want to do what they're doing. I want to get to their level. And it just kind of makes this dynamic where everybody's making everybody else better. And it's just really cool to see. It's great to be a part of.
Walk us through briefly, if you can, in a nutshell, kind of your pole vaulting journey from trying out tennis in the freshman year, that not kind of working out so well, and then what comes next.
Yeah, so freshman year, as you said, I did do tennis, and I just wasn't the best at tennis. It wasn't for me. And I have a background in rock climbing, so my friend suggested me, hey, why don't you try pole vault? Because a lot of the things I've gained from rock climbing will transfer pretty well. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a shot. So sophomore year, I decided to try it, but season got cut after like 2 weeks or so I barely got any time to actually pole vault. So really my first year was last year, my junior year, and I just fell in love with it.
In the minutes before, they call your name or it's time for you to get there on the pole vaulting track, what's going through your brain? How do you get in the right mindset?
Before it's my turn, I always just take a minute. I visualize what I want my vault to look like. And then when I get up to the runway, I always check my steps, make sure I'm standing at the right spot. I always like to take my pole and do a couple practice plants just to make sure I got the motion down. And then I take a couple deep breaths, and I just really think sprint to the pit, and it just helps me run as fast as I can. And then the visualization helps me actually do the vault I want to do.
What's your PR at this point, and what are you striving for moving forward?
So my PR is 12 feet 6 inches, and at the beginning of the season I set a goal of 13 feet because that's the district qualifying height. So I'm really hoping in our Cocalico away meet next week and leagues over the weekend that I'll be able to make that.
All right, thanks, John. Let's talk track a little bit, man. We're getting down to it. League meet this weekend at Hempfield.
That's right. So as we record this, we're still in the final days of what is the league regular season, but we already have all of our section titles decided. I'll start up in Section 1. The McCaskey girls won that. Cedar Crest boys won Section 1. And then we already kind of knew that coming into the week. That was pretty much wrapped up essentially. And then Section 2, this previous Monday night, Manheim Central girls won that in Section 2. It's their first section crown for the Barron girls since 1994. Also at that same meet, Manheim Central girls beat Ephrata. Well, the Ephrata boys beat Manheim Central. Ephrata boys are the Section 2 champion. They're first since 2019. However, Ephrata boys' first unbeaten league regular season since 1989.
Wow.
I would have been 2 years old then.
Wow.
And then finally in Section 3, Octorara boys won Section 3 crown. The Elko girls won the Section 3 crown as well. I was still awaiting the results from Monday at Northern Lebanon. More than likely, the Raiders came out on top there. So section crowns are in the book, and then league championships start this Friday of what will be the first day of championships, all the heats and qualifiers and whatnot, and then kind of the back half of Saturday will be the league championships, the finals, the heats, whatever you want to call them. All that will be held over 2 days, Friday and Saturday at Hempfield. And just a refresher, the McCaskey boys and the McCaskey girls won the league championship team events last year, so they're basically going in the Red Tornado, kind of defending that in a sense. So all that coming up this weekend, track and field at Hempfield.
Yeah, that's always a big day.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to baseball. I changed my mind here. I want to talk about baseball because it's fresh in my mind and lots of stuff going on. We're headed toward the league playoffs, and it's about 99% set, with a couple little asterisks I'll get to in a minute. But I want to talk about the game of the night last night, and also the man of the hour last night, LS shortstop. I love this name, melodious, Giovanni Malatesta. And this was a Section 2 championship game in effect between LS and Ephrata. And it's 2-2 game going into the 7th inning. And Giovanni comes up to the plate with 2 men on in the top of the 7th. Huge 2-run double. He goes to third on the throw. He comes all the way home on when the ball got away from the catcher. So now it's 5-2. We go to the bottom of the 7th. LS coach Jeff Swar makes the call to the bullpen. Who does he call? Giovanni Malatesta, who is making his first pitching appearance of the season.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. So anyway.
So he hit a Little League home run in that game, yes?
Yeah, and he literally just sprinted around the bases, and now he's going to pitch. Cool. He was wobbly a little bit at the beginning, couple of walks, and Coy Schwanger, the very, very good catcher for Ephrata, got a hit. So now it's bases loaded, winning run comes to the plate, and Giovanni settled himself and got a couple of outs, a pop out and a ground out. So LS is the Section 2 champion. Interestingly, Ephrata 13-5. They're ranked number 3 in the district in 5A. LS is 11-8 and ranked 18th in the district in 5A, but LS is the section champion because they won 2 dramatic head-to-head matchups with Ephrata. So LS is playing Octorara tonight, Tuesday, as we speak, in a game that may have district playoff implications for both of those teams. Wow. LS is now number 18 in 5A, so they wouldn't be in. 16 make it. Wow. But anyway, they're the section champion. League playoffs. LS is also at the top of the bracket now. If you can picture the playoff bracket, I'm going to talk about these games in the order of the bracket. LS versus Anvil Cleona. They're the Section 4 runner-up, 9-8. They're number 6 in 3A. And 6 teams make it. And they have 2 non-league games this week, Tulpehocken and Fleetwood. So they're playing for their season potentially this week. The next game in the bracket, Manheim Central, 17-1, ranked number 1 in 5A. We've talked about them all year. They've been phenomenal. And they're going to play, I'm almost certain that Manheim Township is going to be the runner-up in Section 1. They are 15-4. They're seeded 3rd in 6A. I think there's an outside mathematical possibility that Hempfield, which is actually tied with them, and the district tiebreaker would be the power rankings would be the tiebreaker. I think it's theoretically possible that Hempfield could pass them, but it's almost certainly going to be Township. Next on the bracket, Lancaster Catholic, number 1 in 3A in the district ranking, 16-2. They are the Section 4 champion, and they will play Ephrata. That is a really even matchup, I think. I think that's the best, the closest to a pick'em in this first round. And then the bottom of the bracket, Warwick, terrific all year, Section 1 champion, 16-2. They're the number 2 seed in 6A. And they're playing Donegal, which is the Section 3 runner-up. That's a tough matchup for Donegal, but Donegal has been really competitive this year. I'm impressed with the way they've hung around against good opponents. I would think of them as a live underdog, although of course it's a lot to ask against Warwick. These games are all being played on Saturday at the home field of the section champions. The semis are Tuesday of next week at Ephrata, and the championship game is Thursday, 7 o'clock under the lights at Clipper Magazine Stadium.
Nice.
So that's where we are. That's baseball.
Nice. Gio Malatesta is a recruit for baseball in college. I
Yeah,
wanna
he's
say
going to
D1.
a top.
Where's he going?
He's going to a top D1 school. So I remember when he was playing football, I was doing a story about him and learning about his
Is it George
baseball
Mason or
prowess and
somewhere
all
like that?
stuff.
I
Yeah.
forget. But
Something
he's
like
going
that.
somewhere to play.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
right.
he's a legit
George Mason, I think
baseball
that's
player
right.
kid.
Anyway, big night for Giovanni, and
Yes.
big night for the Pioneers,
Yes.
and big night for baseball, really.
It'd be odd if they did not make districts. I mean, you think
That would
LS,
be.
you think
That would be strange. They
You
would,
know.
but they took their lumps in the crossovers against Section 1, which don't count, and they played Chambersburg. They played some people. So 11 and 8, and we have. And the other thing is, let's say they get the 16 seed and they have to play Central in the first round of
about
districts.
that?
That could happen. That could easily happen.
that'd be really interesting.
That's baseball, gang. All right, let's go to Mr. Reinhardt.
Volleyball?
With the volley in.
Okay, volleyball finish line league play is Wednesday night. I can actually talk about stuff that's going to happen in volleyball because
Wow.
they played Monday, Wednesday this week because the playoffs start Friday. Playoffs start Friday night. Okay, here's where we stand. Pretty cut and dried. There's no champs yet, but we kind of know where everybody's at here with one night to go in league play in volleyball. Section 1, Hempfield 10-1, Warwick 10-1. Split their season series. Warwick won early last week over in Lidditz. Great match. They're tied. Hempfield finishes up Wednesday against McCaskey. Warwick finishes up Wednesday against Penn Manor. If they both win, they'll both finish 11-1, and they will tie for the section championships because, God forbid, we have a one-match playoff in any sport anymore. That's too bad. But I digress. They will share the section title if they both win, and they will go to the tiebreaker criteria for the seeding for the semifinals on Friday. As we sit here now, Warwick is number 3 in districts, Hempfield is number 6. So Warwick would hold that tiebreaker. So they both win Wednesday, co-champs, and Warwick looks like would host the semifinal matches on Friday, 5 o'clock, 7:30. Section 1 champ against Section 2 runner-up, Section 2 champ against Section 1 runner-up. Warwick right now is in the driver's seat for the 1 seed out of Section 1. Section 2, Lancaster Mennonite. They've been unbelievable. They've been great. 10-1. They've clinched no worse than a tie for the Section 2 championship. First since 2012. It's been 10 years since the Blazers have won a section, mostly because Mannheim Central and Garden Spot have kind of run away with Section 2 here over the years. But anyway, Mennonite finishes up Wednesday against Elizabethtown. This is a huge match for the Bears. Huge. E-Town right now is on the number 13 line and just barely in District 3 AAA. So they're almost probably going to need a win to stay in the top 14 to get in. And they can also throw a monkey wrench at Mennonite if they beat them and maybe force a tie here for the section. Garden Spot 9-2. Spartans are the defending section champs. They're alone in second. Wednesday night, Garden Spot at Mannheim Central. Barons are 8-3. Barons beat Garden Spot in New Holland in the first meeting. So on Wednesday, if Central beats Garden Spot again, that would force a tie. And Central would own that tiebreaker on head-to-head, and Central would get second place. If Garden Spot wins, it gets no worse than second. And if Mennonite loses, there could be a tie somewhere in there between Mennonite and Garden Spot. We'll see what happens come Wednesday night. There's still a lot of scenarios here in Section 2. And the other cool thing about the Garden Spot Mannheim Central match, they're 4-5 in districts right now, so that's almost like a seeding game for the 2A bracket. Mennonite's number 3 in that bracket. They should all be in. Cocalico is also teetering. Eagles are number 12. 10 teams make 2A. Cocalico plays, I want to say Ephrata on Wednesday. If Cocalico wins and gets a little help, Cocalico should make districts. Again, E-Town, keep an eye on that match against Mennonite on Wednesday. I think I'm going to go to that one. because Mennonite can clinch outright. Friday night semis championship match is next Monday night, 7 o'clock at Cocalico in Denver. Hempfield has beat Warwick in the last 2 LL League championship matches. We'll see if they can meet again for the 3rd time in a row. Lastly, next Monday night after the championship, we'll have the LL All-Stars and Most Valuable Player awards from both sections. Those are under lock and key, and I cannot release them until Monday after the championship match. So stay tuned.
And
for
you
that.
picked all those, right?
I had nothing to do with it. I'm just passing along some information. Stay tuned for the All-Stars on Monday. That's it. Pretty cut and dried. Hempfield, Warwick, definitely in districts. Mennonite, Garden Spot Central, definitely in districts. E-Town, bubble. Cocalico, bubble. District start the following weekend.
He says he has nothing to do with it, but he also said he had very little to say
You could
about
just-
volleyball.
I
Well,
know, I'm
what's
still
happening?
talking. I'm just rambling.
All right.
Volleyball's been fun. Good stuff. Good stuff. We have a couple teams here that could go deep, I think,
All right.
into the spring. So, yeah, there you go.
We still have lax. We still have tennis. We still have softball.
Do
John,
it. Hurry.
We
you're
still
up, buddy.
have lax. Let's do tennis, just because we're already past the District 3 championships for the singles anyway. Currently still doing the team stuff. All right, District 3 boys tennis. 2A singles. Your champion is now Abadir, defeated Freddie Bloom, both teammates. Lancaster Country Day. 3A singles, Hempfield, Cooper Lehman. He's your 3A champion. And then doubles. That starts this coming Friday. Worth noting there, Abadir, Bloom, 2A. More than likely, probably your favorite there. Currently ongoing, the District 3 Team Tennis Championships. The 3A semifinal on Monday night, Palmyra beat Cedar Crest. The 2A semifinal, Lancaster Country Day beat Donegal. Those are only half of the semifinals in each. So Lancaster Country Day will face the winner of Pequay Valley, Conrad Weiser.
Wow.
Cedar Crest goes to a 3rd place match. Donegal goes to a 3rd place match. So all that's still ongoing. Check out the tennis page in Lancaster Online for all of that coverage.
Country Day. So we had 2 district champs, and I think the Township kid in AAA got 3rd. And
Right.
he's also going to states.
Yeah, so
if you didn't say that,
we'll be
I'm sorry.
talking about that a lot. in
That's
coming
pretty cool.
weeks.
Good for those
Yeah.
guys. 2 district champs in singles.
And again, I've been trying to line up a tennis in-person interview, but it seems like they're playing almost every day, and whenever they have a day off, of course, it rains. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You can relate to that. Yeah. So you want me to, should I go softball?
Sure.
All right, softball. Again, we're relying on the coverage of Dave Field-the-Burn, our softball writer. Kind of in the same place that baseball is, where the league quarterfinals, the league playoffs are starting on Saturday. Quarterfinals at the 4-section champion home fields, and then on Monday, the semis are at Millersville. And then on Wednesday, the championship game, 7 p.m. at Millersville. The section champions are Penn Manor. We've been talking about them all year. Fabulous season, dominant, and probably the favorite in this thing, I would think.
Probably.
The runner-up is Warwick. That's pretty much locked up now. Section 2. Section 2 is always complicated in every sport, every
Seems
season.
like it.
Well, so anyway, Section 2, Solanco forced that race down to the wire by beating LS last week.
Wow.
1-0. But LS beat a pretty good effort team last night on Monday, 3-0 to lock up that section. And Solanco is going. Looks like Solanco is going to be the runner-up there. E-Town and Solanco play tonight, Tuesday, and I think that situation will be clearer. Remember now, in softball, unlike baseball, the crossover games count, which makes it much more confusing to try and figure this stuff out now. But it works out. It works out fine eventually. Section 3, Northern Lebanon. I mean, they keep rolling. They've had a very good year. They beat Donegal last week to clinch it. And Mannheim Central then beat Donegal last night, and they're going to be the runner-up. In Section 4, Anvil Clayona, which clinched this section a couple weeks ago. I mean, one of the earliest teams to clinch in any of our spring sports. And it looks like Lancaster Catholic in the driver's seat to be the runner-up. But Pequay Valley has made a little late run, and they're still alive, and they have to play each other. I think that game's tonight. So we're almost to the finish line of the regular season in softball. And again, it's this big day on Saturday with the track meet, 4 playoff softball games, 4 playoff baseball games, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be big.
It's the fun time of the year.
There you
for
go.
sure.
There you go.
Especially as it's starting to finally warm up.
John, lacrosse, my man.
Lacrosse, finally. All right, so as you all watch this, you can go to the lacrosse page in Lancaster Online to get the results from Tuesday's semifinals. More than likely, I'd be shocked if the matchups aren't Hempfield Township and both girls and boys. Championship matches will be Thursday at Cocalico's Talon Field. First time I think that's ever happened as far as Cocalico hosting a championship, so cool on them. I believe the girls start off at 5 o'clock, followed by the boys. Worth noting here, as far as since you gentlemen have both been mentioning district power ratings, on the boys' side, Township is number 1, Hempfield's number 3 in 3A. Girls' side, Township and Hempfield are 1 and 2 in 3A. So more than likely, yeah, they'll probably meet Thursday, and then they might meet again another week or two. And by the way, Township enters this week with a 22-game LL tournament win streak, winners of the last 11 LL tournament titles. This time a week ago, jinxed them a little bit. They entered last week 101-game league regular season win streak. That was snapped last Thursday, 7-5 loss
That's
at
clearly your
Hempfield.
fault, John.
So Hempfield kind of has a leg up there, but I'm sure Township's going to come back firing on the girls' side.
No doubt.
We'll have all that coverage, Lancaster Online, the Lacrosse page. Check that out.
Okay,
Good
that's
stuff.
it. Next time we speak, we'll have championships to talk about. Championships will have been decided, and this has been, I want to mention one thing before I forget.
Go.
Daryl Simeon. He did a terrific job covering that late baseball game, the LS Effort game last night. I was at Township in Warwick, and he wrote a really nice game story, probably on deadline because it was late.
Speaking of which, if I could put a bow on things, we talked about Gio Malatesta at Lampeter Strasburg earlier. As you were talking, I was looking it up. He's committed to D3 Washington College. Head coach Corey Beddick from Hempfield.
No way.
Yeah, that's
really?
in the same league with FNL.
So I thought he was
Yeah.
D1. I'm
Centennial
sorry.
Conference.
But I knew he verbaled somewhere, and he's
Yeah.
going to go play. So
Yep.
good for Gio. He's a good kid. Good
All right,
football
gang.
player.
That's it. This has been the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Penn Medicine and Lancaster General Health Sports Medicine. I'm Mike Gross. See you later.